sure if you guys notice anything different about us.
Pose for the camera, daddy, I'm voguing.
If you don't notice, we actually just got done dyeing our hair using the Madison Reed hair dye kit, which we love.
Yeah, we are pretty much obsessed with it. We've probably been using Madison Reed for like the last year or so, but we have been dyeing our hair, especially at home, forever,
you guys. So we're basically, I'd say we're hair professionals. So we figured that we would kind of sit down with you guys and walk you through the entire process, pointers, tricks, tips, and kind of give you guys the lowdown on how we dye our hair at home.
So let's just get started with the first hack, which I feel like is the most important, which is basically finding a good place to dye your hair. So we usually go into the bathroom just because it's usually just the easiest cleanup for us. And what we'll go ahead and do is lay down a towel or newspaper, whatever we kind of have on hand to protect the floors and the counters. That way we don't get hair dye on stuff.
Exactly, so once you have your hair dye location, it's really just time to get started. So we're basically gonna start from the very beginning and walk you guys through the entire process to show you how easy this is. Roll it. All right, so our second hack before you even start dyeing your hair is to use a hair primer, which we've actually never even heard of before Madison Reed. And the first thing you'll wanna do is put on some gloves before you start applying the primer to your hair. You'll wanna make sure that your hair is dry, and what you're gonna do is just apply it from your roots to your tips. So I'm just gonna open this up. It's actually like a clear gel, and I'm just gonna start applying it to the roots of my hair and then running it all the way down to my ends. And this is basically going to get rid of any excess dye that you had from your previous dye, and it's also going to work like as a makeup primer. It's basically going to help your hair dye penetrate and last longer. All right, so once you have your hair completely saturated into the primer, what you wanna do is just wrap your hair up. You could just tie it off or put it in a little bun on the top of your head. And then you're gonna wanna put on a shower cap, and you're gonna leave this on for about 20 minutes before you rinse it out.
Alrighty guys, so I'm here, I've already prepped, I've already primed, I'm good to go. I have my gloves on, which come in the kit, which is super convenient. And I've already mixed my hair dye. It is super easy. All you have to do is take the Radiant Color Cream and mix it into the color activator. Give it a good little shake, and that is it, you guys. It is ready to go. And before, we actually used to use the color Positano. We would use it all the time, but we actually found out that they had a little bit of a darker color, so we kind of wanted to play with it, try it out. So this one that I'm going to be using today is called Pescara. You can actually go online and do a whole hair test, and they'll give you kind of like what you want, and that way it's super easy for you to know what color you want. But that's just kind of like a little guideline to show you guys what this is going to look like. So the third hack, which is super important, is to section your hair, especially if you have long hair or you're doing it yourself. It is just so much easier to do. So what we do is we always use a wide tooth comb, and what I'm gonna do is basically just go down the middle of my head, and then I'm going to section each side in half. So basically 4 major sections is kind of what I'm gonna try to work with. And then I'm basically just gonna take my hair and section it up on top with some clips. You can use clips, hair ties, you know, whatever kind of works for you guys. Alrighty, so now that we have our hair sectioned, I left this section out just because this is what we're gonna actually start with. But before we get started actually dyeing our hair, we're going to move on to hack number 4, which I think is probably the most important hack of this entire video, because this stuff is barrier cream, which is actually going to help the hair dye not get all over yourself. So what I'm going to do is just get some on my finger, and I'm going to start at my hairline because that is where I would start getting the hair dye the most. And then I'm just gonna kind of take it all the way down my hairline here. I'm gonna put a little bit of it on my ears, go like a little bit down the neck, pretty much just in any area that you feel like you would drip the hair dye on you or just kind of get it on your skin at all.
All right, so I went ahead and rinsed out the primer. You're actually supposed to shampoo it out twice. My hair is now dry and I'm ready to start. I've already sectioned my hair off, as you can see, and I've already applied the barrier cream. So I'm ready to start dyeing my hair. And I'm also using the same color as Haley. We're using the color Pescara. It's a really dark black color, so I'm actually really excited. And what I like to do is just start with my first section, and I'll start with just a small piece here. So I like to start at the root of my head here, and then I'm just gonna slowly start running the color down. I'll also use my hand to kind of catch the dye, and I'm just gonna run it all the way from root to end until the piece is nice and saturated. Another hack, if you want, you could actually just put the hair dye right in your hand. It makes it a little bit easier, so that's another trick you can do if you're having a hard time getting the hair dye on the ends of your hair. So I'm gonna just keep working in small sections, and like I said, I'm gonna focus on getting the color right at the root. You're gonna kind of blend it in with your fingers and then just continue to run the hair color all the way down to the ends. All right, so I'm just gonna continue going section by section all around my head and just kind of applying the same techniques that I'm using, just going in small sections and just starting from the root and working the hair all the way down to the bottom. All right, so I'm just finishing up the last section of my hair, and another really important tip is just to make sure that you're using a brush or a comb throughout the process to make sure your hair has no tangles, because that's gonna make dyeing it so much easier. And another tip is just to start in really small sections. So when I'm working on the back side of my hair, I'll just take a really small section. I'll take the rest of the hair and I'm just gonna clip it up to the side. That way it's out of the way and I'm only focusing on one piece at a time. So when I'm getting the back side, I also like to take the piece of hair and hold it all the way up just so I can make sure I'm getting the actual bottom half of that piece of hair as well. And then I'll just use my hands to kind of spread out the hair dye throughout the root, and I'll just keep moving the hair dye all the way down. Like I said, I also like to get the hair dye and just put a little bit in my hands and use that to kind of run down to the ends of my hair as well. All right, so once my hair is completely dyed, what I like to do is take all of the individual sections down, and I'll just kind of like to zhuzh my hair, kind of like I'm putting shampoo on, just to make sure that the color is all over my whole head, everything is nice and even. Also, if you have any extra hair dye, I like to just kind of go in and run it through the roots just to make sure that all the pieces are covered. And like I said, I'll kind of just act as if I'm shampooing my hair, so kind of just rubbing it in all throughout my hair. I'll also like to put some just in my hand, whatever I have left, and I'll just run that through the ends of my hair just to make sure that the ends are nice and saturated as well. I'll also like to completely pull up all of my hair and get the back side to make sure the roots and everything towards the back is nice and covered as well, just in case you missed anything when you were doing your individual sections. Alrighty, so once everything is nice and saturated and I'm satisfied, I feel like I've gotten all of my hair covered, I go ahead and just put my hair in a bun and secure that with a rubber band. And I'm also going to put on a little shower cap, which is another component that comes with the hair dye kit, which is really nice because when you're letting your hair set, you don't have to worry about getting hair dye all over the place. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. So once you have your hair cap on, another hack is the cleansing wipe that the hair dye kit actually comes with. I love this because as you can see, I do have some hair dye kind of all over the place. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this wipe and I'm just gonna clean up. This is actually gonna remove any of the hair dye that I got around my neck, around my ears, anything like that. And then if you remember the barrier cream that we put on, that's also gonna help just remove all the hair dye really nice and easily.
Alright guys, so another hack that we do every single time we dye our hair, it's actually a really huge and important hack for us to get our eyebrows to match our hair, because if you can't tell, my hair is a little bit lighter than the hair dye color, so I don't want my eyebrows to be a different color. So what we do is we just take a Q-tip and then we're gonna just take the hair dye and we basically just squirt a little bit onto the Q-tip and then just go in and kind of just do it as if you were filling in your brows. And don't be afraid, it's totally fine. We have done this so many times and it just helps to make your eyebrows look a little bit darker. And it's also such a good tip and hack because it makes it so much easier for like the next couple of weeks when you're filling in your eyebrows, because they're already a little bit filled in and dark. So it's such a good tip and hack. Alrighty guys, so now that I got my brows on, I'm all cleaned up. It's been about 20 to 25 minutes or so, so now it's time to hop in the shower, rinse the dye out, and I'm actually going to use the little shampoo and conditioner that came in the Madison Reed kit. Seriously, you guys, they thought of everything. This shampoo and conditioner is so amazing that we actually have a full size in our shower that we use all the time. It just gets the hair dye out so well and leaves your hair so soft and smooth. Also, if you're someone who gets your nails done or you just don't want to get hair dye all over your hands when you're rinsing it out, the kit conveniently comes with a second pair of gloves that you can put on to rinse your hair dye out. So I'm gonna pop these guys on, rinse my hair out, and then we'll show you the results. Alrighty guys, so that was it. This is our results.
Pose for the camera, daddy, I'm voguing. Baby, I'm glamorous and folding. Grammys and AMAs, I'm holding. Amazing the way I keep shit frozen. Cool.
And honestly, you guys, it is so easy. And on top of that, it's literally a fraction of the price. You will literally save so much money by dyeing your hair at home, and your hair will still turn out looking great every single time.
And it's so simple, so easy, even to do alone or with a friend. So we love Madison Reed. If you guys want to purchase the hair dye kit or any of their products that we used in the video, we'll go ahead and leave everything linked down below.
And we also have a code with Madison Reed to save you guys a little bit of money, which we'll link below as well.
Yeah, and if you guys enjoy seeing kind of videos like this about hair dye, beauty, skincare, whatever it is, give this video a thumbs up and leave some requests down in the comments for us, because we want to know what you guys want to see.
And don't forget to subscribe on your way out. We'll see you guys next time.
Life's a movie. Let the camera